Hi, welcome to Dining with Diabetes. I'm Michelle Jackham. I'm one of the dietitians here at the Diabetes Institute, and today we are going to be making a delicious pot of soup. It's a almond butter chicken soup. Delicious. I think it's great to have a pot of soup in your refrigerator all the time. Makes for a quick lunch, a quick snack, and research shows us that a little cup of soup before your main meal, you'll consume less overall calories at that meal. Good research. There's chicken in this soup. When I make chicken for soup or salad, I like to poach the chicken as opposed to baking it or grilling it, etc. Reason for, it comes out moister. How do you poach a piece of chicken? Got one. Poaching right here to show you. All you have to do is put it in a pot with about 1 inch of water. Bring it up to a slow boil, reduce the heat, cover it and simmer for 12 to 15 minutes depending on the size of the chicken. You'll know when it's done if you pierce it and the fluids run clear. You've got a cooked piece of chicken. Take it off the grill, take it off the stove, put it on the side, let it sit for a few more minutes with the lid on, and then you want to cool it before we go ahead and shred it. Okay, so now we've cooled off and we want to shred the chicken. I'm putting on some gloves because it's not a bad idea when you're handling meats. I've taken the skin off the chicken breast, obviously, and I've taken off a couple chunks of chicken, and I'm gonna just sort of cut it into strips. I like to shred instead of dice. When you shred the chicken, you're getting a lot more surface area, and that means when you put it in your soup or if you're using it for a salad, it's going to be able to absorb more of the soup broth or the dressing. Okay, now we're moving on to the main part of the soup. I've put 2 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil in here, heated it up, and I've got my onion. This is 1 small onion chopped up, and 1 small sweet potato diced up. We're going to saute this for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, next we're grating in some garlic, 2 cloves actually. A tablespoon of fresh ginger, grating that in also. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Get that in there. And we're just gonna stir those around for 2 minutes to let their oils kind of bloom out and all that wonderful aroma to fill your kitchen. Okay, we're ready to add the broth. This is 4 cups. I'm putting in an organic chicken broth. You can use a vegetable broth if you like. You don't have to use the organic, but you should at least use a low sodium. I found that the organic actually had less sodium than the low sodium. So always read your label and watch with the broth. They can be quite salty. We're going to leave this to bring to a boil, and then it's going to simmer for 15 minutes before we add our final ingredients, and then we'll be ready to taste this wonderful soup. Okay, we're ready to finalize this soup. A couple more steps and we're good to go. And all we have to do now, it's been cooking away here for the past 20 minutes, we're going to add the chicken. Okay, remember I talked about shredding the chicken instead of dicing it. You could see that there's going to be a lot more area for the broth to get into. We're adding 1.5 cups of spinach. I use baby spinach. If you're using bigger spinach, you might want to tear the leaves. At any rate, you definitely want to take the stems off. What makes this particular soup have such an interesting flavor is the addition at the end of almond butter. If it wants to get out of its cup. Okay, almond butter is a little pricey. You could use peanut butter, but the almond butter is really what does it for this soup. So it doesn't take a lot. It's 1/4 plus 2 tablespoons full, and it melts in, and it just gives it a wonderful flavor. Now this has to cook for another 5 minutes. That's going to thoroughly cook up that spinach. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. And basically, I'm going to leave the salt out because we used box broth, which means there was plenty of salt in it. All we have to do now is let it cook down for 5 more minutes. We're going to add in a little bit of lime juice to brighten up the flavors, and we're good to go. Enjoy it. It's really delicious.